you. Oisashiburi. Long time no see. Welcome back. I hope you had a nice break. I missed you all again. Yes, I really, really did. We're like one big happy family with 500 kids. Nice big family. So I hope you've stretched your legs and had a little refreshment and are ready for the next session. So we'd like to begin the next session. And I'd like to ask Mr. Hiraushi, who is the producer of this conference, to moderate this session. So let's welcome Ikuo and Khailee to the stage. Let's give them a nice warm welcome.
How's everything going? Floor? Must be tired. Okay, this session is on the theme of how to generate the powerful ecosystem of startups in Osaka. And to begin with, let me introduce myself because many of you here don't know me, and then I'd like to introduce Khailee besides me after my self-introduction. This is the theme I would like to share with you, all of you here. How many people are actually attended first HackOsaka, held in just 2 years ago? Raise your hand. Thank you. This picture was taken, I don't know, before the first HackOsaka or after the HackOsaka. But anyway, our keynote speaker, founding partner of the 500 startups, Dave McClure, and the Alan Miner, founder of the Sunbridge Corporation, and George Kellerman, he was a partner. He left company, but anyway, and myself. And every time I have an opportunity to speak for this kind of panel, I will show this slide with the phrase delivered by the Dave McClure. I think an interpreter translate this phrase to you, but I don't think it's necessary. You can read this English. So failure is not a problem. It's a necessary process to continue to succeed. I really like this phrase. And then, this is my second book, published last year, April. I really don't like this title. I didn't name it, but the editor of the company, publisher, made this title, Recommendation of Failures. And also, most of the audience are Japanese, but I would like to let him understand what I'm talking about. So let me speak in English. And then, this is my background. Now I'm managing the startup accelerator called Sunbridge Global Ventures. And I started my entrepreneurial life back in 1991, almost 24 years ago. And then I moved into the internet-related business back in the late 1990s. And the two company projects became a company. The one, Web Crew, which was started from the automobile insurance comparison website. I was not the CEO and president, one of the founders, but I was so lucky to get involved with. And when company went public. And the other one was another success for me is the Interscope, which is online research company, became one of the top 3 players in that category, and successfully acquired by Yahoo Japan back in 2007 February. And I was so stupid. I misunderstood 2 lux as my true ability, and I tried third birdie. I don't know how many guys play golf, but those 2 successful exits for me is like a birdie for golf. I tried to make another birdie, but I screwed up and I hit the bunch of OBs and I lost almost of my balls. You want to play golf with me? Okay, in New York City, right? Anyway, I have learned lots of things, my failure. I'm not proud of my 2 exits, but I am proud of learning from lots of things from my failure and still living. That's my proud. And my life is focused on the change and innovation. This is my current positions. And then this is my philosophy, producing global challenges who create global innovation, which inspire courage, confidence, and hope to their society, hopefully lots of young guys. Okay, let's move on to introduction.
Well, thanks so much. Hey, how are you guys? Can I get a clicker? Sorry, I get a clicker from you. Sorry. Yeah, it's fine. Okay, hope you guys are ready. I've been asked here to speak on how to hack Osaka's startup ecosystem, which is kind of like an interesting topic that people have been thinking about. I think today a lot of the panel covered a lot of these issues. So I'd like to actually give you kind of like a different side of this story on how to hack ecosystems. So just to give you some background, 500 Startups has, in the past 2 years, has become the most active seed investor from Silicon Valley and also the most active seed investor in the world. So all that data was tabulated by CB Insights, ranking us at the top. But that being said, is that although we've kind of done a lot of companies, the more companies we do, the more kind of opportunities and challenges we see in different parts of the world, which excite us to do a lot more. We've managed to do that many companies because we combine seed funds, accelerators, and also a lot of specific community building and ecosystem building in different parts of the world. Our seed funds and accelerators combined have done over 1,000 companies across 50 countries. Collectively, these countries have raised over $3 billion. Our ecosystem building part of our business, we've compiled 2,500 founders within our network and have specific mentors, a network of 250 of them. And we organize about 50 events a year, attracting audiences up to 25,000 people. And these events happen in different parts of the world, but primarily in Silicon Valley. Now, this is a picture taken by Kayuza Minami, right, who Iko has mentioned to me as someone that some people know. I actually just picked this off Twitter, of our recent batch at Demo Day. A bit of a breakdown of all the companies we've invested in. You know, out of the 1,000 companies, 250 of them actually started outside of the US. Out of the 1,000 companies, 200 of them have women co-founders who own a significant share of the company. And out of these companies, 400 of them come from the accelerator. Our current team size is 50 people, and we're spread across 12 countries, and we speak over 20 languages. Our common language is actually WeChat, so we just use that app to stay in touch and communicate. Out of the 1,000 companies, we have one, we're still quite new in a sense because we started in 2010, so we're only 5 years old. We have one unicorn, which is like a code name for a $1 billion plus company. We have 20 centaurs, like Dave just made up this name, for 100 million plus valuation companies. And we've got hundreds of My Little Ponies, right, which is a $10 million US and above companies. So we're still young and we're still growing and still a lot to be done. But I'd like to tell you a bit about our relationship with Japan, and this is something that a lot of people don't know. We have primarily a lot of Japanese base of investors in our fund, from NTT Docomo to Yahoo Japan, Dentsu, Mixi, Big Globe, like the names are here. And on top of that, we also actively invest in Japanese startups as well. So Iko and I was just chatting about the startups that we've co-invested in together. There's 4 of them up here on the screen that we've co-invested in together. Those at the top of the row have raised Series A and Series B, so the Japan-only portfolio is actually progressing quite well. And this gets down personal, Japan's in our blood, in the sense that our founding partner, Dave McClure, he married a Japanese woman, and they have 2 kids together, and Dave's kids speak better Japanese than him. And I first got to know Dave in Japan. We were on a Geeks on a Plane trip, which is one of the tours that he organizes for global investors to get to know different parts of the world, and that's where I first got to know him. So Japan has always been a central part to our strategy and central part in our company, and we always get very excited to come back here and see what more we can do. So as Iko has mentioned, we've been here for the first Hack Osaka, and then when they called me up, we met in the Startup Asia, Japan, I think, and he came up to me and said, "Would you want to come speak?" I said, "Okay," right? So at a heartbeat, we'd love to come down again. Now, about our topic today, this is not the first time we've heard governments trying to get involved with startups around the world. Building ecosystems. We see that countries from all different countries are getting more and more interested in this topic. Recently, we've been working closely with Taiwan government, and so they've decided to invest $15 million in our fund and across other funds as well. Right? We've got a program that we want to do with Taiwan. We also work very closely with Malaysia. That's where I'm from. And we work with different government agencies there to run different programs as well. And there's a few more countries in the pipeline which we're working very closely with. So what specifically do we do with these countries? We first look at the complete funding ecosystem and we see where the gaps are. So this is just a quick snapshot of a very simplistic model of bootstrap companies to incubated companies, seed stage, Series A or B, later seed stage and more mature companies, and what kind of funding they need and how many companies you might have in a certain ecosystem. So we try to map out what the ecosystem is in that city or that country, and we see what the gaps are and we try to plug these holes. And the reason why some of these holes have to be plugged is that if you've got enough support, say at the bootstrap and the incubated stage, but you don't have enough seed stage funding or Series A or Series B funding, they're going to go elsewhere. So it's as simple as that. When a founder wants to build a company, they want to get stuff done. If that city or country doesn't have what it is for them, they're going to go somewhere else. So, why bother with creating a startup ecosystem anyway? What we've started to notice is that a lot of startups, especially in emerging markets, they're kind of like SMEs. A lot of the folks we work with look at them as SMEs. But yes, they're small, medium enterprises when they start, right? And they account for more than 50% of the GDP of any given country. Like I dug up for Japan, apparently 66%. The reason why is because these tech startups, they're like fast-growing SMEs. They're like really fast-growing SMEs, and they're the next MNCs that come out of these countries. So if we don't work today to actually build a lot of these like fast-growing SMEs to be the next MNCs, like that economy has a serious issue for the next like 5, 10, 20 years. So this is why this is like a global issue and not just an Osaka-only issue. It is a global issue. So with that, what do I know about creating startup ecosystems? I grew up without one. I spent 20 over years of my life growing up in Malaysia, and in Malaysia, I never even heard of a startup ecosystem. There's no established events. At the time when I was building companies, there were no established events. There's no incubators. There's no venture capital firms who are actively investing in these kind of sectors. Like, there's virtually no ecosystem. Everyone talked about Singapore. Singapore has everything. So a lot of entrepreneurs go down to Singapore and see what's going on. So I didn't have an ecosystem there. But I was 15 years old at the time, and my first memory is that I had this Nokia 3210 phone, and all my friends had the Nokia 8210, which was significantly smaller. So I wanted the small phone, so I wanted to get a job that would help me buy that phone. But Starbucks paid like $4 an hour, and then I could fold clothes at this shop. They gave me like $5 an hour, and I did the math. I can't buy my phone. So I decided to learn web design, because I heard web design makes more money online, so I became a freelancer, right? So that was my ecosystem. I just wanted to make some money, so I learned how to build websites. So eventually, I found that building websites was fun, and creating companies was even more fun, so I went ahead to build 2 companies of my own. I built a news company. It's like a social news company, not very dissimilar from BuzzFeed. We merged it with a few companies, and we listed it on the Malaysian Stock Exchange with the help of Catcher Group, which is an investment company. I also built Malaysia's second largest e-commerce site. I did this with my co-founder Joel, and we built it up to second largest e-commerce site in 3 months, and then we sold it to Groupon. And then Joel and the rest of our team continue to run Groupon for Japan, not Japan, for all of Asia. Now, with those 2 things, like it's interesting that people take a look at Malaysia and say, without an ecosystem, it's possible to build some companies. But it's even more shocking that with such a small ecosystem of just a handful of people, it also boasts some of the biggest startup results in all of Southeast Asia. Now, 4 out of 5 of the largest tech IPOs in Southeast Asia are actually Malaysian headquartered Malaysian companies. The biggest funding round ever done in Southeast Asia in a tech company is one of our portfolio companies. They're called Grab Taxi. SoftBank invested $250 million, one check, into Grab Taxi. This was just a few months ago. And the biggest exit in Southeast Asia by acquisition is JobStreet for $500 million US. So when people ask me, Khailee, what are you trying to say with these slides? You're saying that we don't need an ecosystem? Like we don't need an ecosystem to build companies? Well, I say that, yeah, I think a lot of ecosystem-related stuff is very important, but there's one thing that's probably even more important than that. And with that, I'd like to actually tell you a story. This was a story of the time I wanted to abandon my country. This was in the first couple of months that I was building my company, and me and my co-founder, we said, okay, we're going to build our site on Ruby on Rails. Because that's what all the cool kids do, read online on TechCrunch, everyone's using Ruby on Rails, Ruby on Rails. All right, man, we're going to build in Ruby on Rails, then we'll succeed. Right? So that's what people in Silicon Valley do, so let's do it too. So we said, okay, we're going to build our site in Ruby on Rails. We went to search around and talk to people, and we found that Malaysia has one Ruby on Rails developer. One guy. Right? His name's Kamal. So we got in touch with Kamal, and I was like, Kamal, we're going to build a startup. We're going to use Ruby on Rails. We want you to join us. And he's like, no. so he was working with Accenture at the time, right, as a technology consultant, and he coded Ruby on Rails at night. So we're like, come on, man, it's gonna be fun, it's gonna be good. He said, no. And I said, okay, why don't I pay you to build the site for me? And he said, okay. So it was very expensive, okay, but we thought, okay, never mind, we take our savings. We borrowed like 50 grand from our parents each, right? Then we gave some of that to Kamal. Then Kamal built us a site. And we were so pumped about it. We had this Ruby on Rails website, we hit it out there, this app. It was like a market research panel app. We rolled it out. And then on the first day, it got like a lot of users. And then we wanted to build new features. And we went back to Kamal. We said, Kamal, build new features for us. He said, no, I'm busy at other projects. So I was stuck there with an app, right, which only one person in Malaysia knew how to build on. And I didn't know where to go, right? So we said, okay, maybe we go to Singapore. Let's talk to some programmers in Singapore. Let's go on Elance. Let's look at other Ruby on Rails developers from India, from the US. We tried all our options, and we couldn't find a lot of people or afford a lot of people to work with us. So at that time, I was sick and tired of Malaysia. I'm saying Malaysia is a shithole. I'm getting hell out of here. Like, it has no ecosystem, no talent, nothing. I'm sick of this place. I'm getting out of here. I'm going to go to Silicon Valley, and I'm going to build a startup in Silicon Valley. I'm done with Malaysia. That's when the next day I woke up and I said, maybe there's still one more idea. Maybe I can talk to Kamal again and brainstorm a different idea. So I talked to Kamal. I said, Kamal, I know there's only one Ruby on Rails developer in Malaysia, and that's you. But is there anyone else you know who's learning? And he said, yeah, some people are trying to learn. So there's somebody else called Aizat. So he introduced me to Aizat, and I said, Aizat, what if I pay you to learn Ruby on Rails? So you just sit in my office for 3 months and you just learn Ruby on Rails for fun. And after you're done, you can start building my app. You can use my app as a playground. So Aizat says, okay, I'll do it. And then I got somebody else I met at an event who was a PHP developer called Zumi. I said, Zumi, you join Aizat. I pay you. You sit down together. You just learn Ruby on Rails together. And so they started to learn. They started to build. They continued to build the startups that eventually became very successful for me. And this mini Ruby on Rails community, Kamal went on to be the head of engineering at Viki, which is a 500 startups funded company out of Singapore. Rakuten bought Viki for $200 million US. Aizat went on to become the first Malaysian developer to join Facebook, and he joined the growth and engagement team, which helped them get towards 1 billion users, and he was a big inspiration for all the developers in Malaysia. Zumi went on to work with us for many years. He's still involved consulting and working with a lot of startups over there. He worked with another person to set up a new company called Build Please, which we recently invested in as well. And this triggered not just the Ruby on Rails community to go out and be involved in startups, it also triggered a freelancer community of the staff that work for me and my companies. They went on to build for other startups, which recently got funding as well. And because we stayed in Malaysia, I continued to do a lot of angel investing after my exits in Malaysia. We invested in a company called iMoney, which is one of the front runners in our portfolio right now. They recently got a $4 million Series B. And also, I eventually got involved with 500 startups. And my involvement with 500 startups is I took the brand and the platform and I brought it to Southeast Asia so we can invest not just in Malaysia, but in all of Southeast Asia. So I think back a lot on that night I decided to quit Malaysia, to leave Malaysia. And sometimes I wonder, what if I left Malaysia and I went to Silicon Valley, right? Maybe I made even more money and have even more companies. I don't know, right? But I do know that because I decided to stay, there's a lot of startups which I mentor, I work with, I'm directly involved with, that as a direct result of me staying, like I think that was very helpful. So I just want to tell you this story because I think that in any ecosystem all around the world, it takes just one person to make a certain decision, and there's this ripple effect that will happen down the line. It's hard to measure, it's hard to track sometimes, but it happens. Now, the role of government. I'll tell you that the government had one plan, like a seed grant plan, and in Malaysia, the government's not very good at marketing, so they had this program to give seed money, but nobody knew about it. But we had a Ruby on Rails meetup with these programmers, and one government official came down to the Ruby on Rails meetup. It was at 10 p.m. at a Starbucks on a Thursday night. Usually government servants are asleep at this time, or with their families, right? He came down there, he talked to us, we thought, whoa, what's this guy doing? Like he was a bit much older than us. Then he was, just there trying to talk to us. We thought, what does he want from us? And that's what we were talking at first. But he introduced that. And because I actually went to apply for this grant, I got the grant money, which is why I could actually hire the people to work in my company. So I would say that there's all these small little things that actually trigger an entire ecosystem, and it's the start of something. Hopefully in the next 5 to 10 years, we'll see the Malaysian and Southeast Asian ecosystem built to something a lot more. And you cannot underestimate the ripple effect of this one person's actions. People have been studying this. They call this the PayPal mafia. They map back like all the individuals who worked at PayPal, the first 200 or so employees, and saw what else they did after PayPal's stock went public. This is another visualization. Of course, the people who worked at PayPal, they went on to start YouTube, they went on to start LinkedIn, they went on to start Yelp, they went on to start Yammer, all these billion-dollar companies, Slide. They want to start SpaceX, Tesla, went on to become the first investors in Facebook, eventually be part of VC firms like Greylock, and of course Dave McClure was also part of this group. He went on to start 500 startups. So it's just one company spawning so much more. So my message today is that an ecosystem may need all kinds of things, funding, mentors, and everything else, and that stuff is very important. But most of all, it needs you. It needs you and your ripple effect on the entire Osaka. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Khailee. I think it's all done. There's nothing to discuss with me. Huh? But otherwise, I'm going to be fired. So let me discuss a little bit. As we just having a casual chat at the back room, I think many of the audience are not really noticed about the scores I mentioned to you. It depends on the currency exchange rate, but the GDP, gross regional products, I would say a GRP of Tokyo is about the 95 billion USD. The one of the Osaka is 38 or something billion USD. So approximately 100 versus 40. That is those two cities are the size of the economy, power of the economy. However, this is the crucial figure. The amount of the money invested startups from VC in Tokyo is, I would say, as index 100. Which figure have been invested in the startups in Osaka? Can you guess? Less than 10. 7 or 8. Even though the economy, Osaka has a 40 versus Tokyo 100. However, the money invested into the startups in Osaka is 7 or 8 versus Tokyo 100. That is the reality. So the reason I introduced this figure to you is, as Khailee mentioned, just this curly hair kind of weird guy studied the one big ripple effect. That's became a huge impact. So I would like to ask you much more about the Malaysia situation when you studied your own setup and the transition to the nowadays. And also, I would like you to kind of make comparison between Singapore and the Malaysia. And I've never been to the Malaysia and any other countries except the Singapore and the Thailand. So could you explain the situation and from my perspective, Malaysia has far behind from the Singapore, as you mentioned, in terms of their kind of startups or innovation kind of thing. But how Malaysia and any other cities are competing with Singapore?
Well, I think that for Malaysia and Singapore, in the context of Southeast Asia, each of these countries are finding their place in the global startup narrative. Because you see globally, like, okay, where are growth markets in the world? People talk about US and China, biggest markets. India is getting ready, you know, it's kind of very ready for a lot of investment right now. Then people see this clump of Southeast Asia, which is presenting a lot of growth opportunity. Relevant for Japan, most of the ecosystem in Southeast Asia is actually funded by Japan. A lot of the VC firms, the acquisitions are all a lot of big Japanese companies. So what happens with Southeast Asia is that Southeast Asia is made by a lot of smaller countries. So for those of you who haven't been to Malaysia, it's a small country, 28 million population. And Singapore is even smaller, it's 5 million population. The big brothers in Southeast Asia in terms of population, you've got Indonesia with 200 million population. You've got like Vietnam and Philippines, you've got 70, 80 million. Thailand, you know, about 60. So each of these countries are trying to find their place. Malaysia in specific, recently have a new government initiative, this agency called Magic, and it's an entrepreneurial-led organization. They actually hired one of the 500 startups portfolio founders, Cheryl Yeo. She had a successful company in Silicon Valley. She was part of our batch, our accelerator batch. The company was sold to Walmart, and so the government called her back to actually lead the entrepreneurial development efforts. And what people have been saying about her efforts in Malaysia is that what she's been doing in the past 5 months is more than everything in the past 5 years, in terms of the relevance to entrepreneurs there. So I think there's signs of a new ecosystem starting in Malaysia, but that being said, it's nothing compared to what's going on in Singapore. Singapore, I think, had the benefit of having a lot of large organizations and expats use Singapore as a base for Southeast Asia for a long time. And the government there is very savvy, very proactive. They work not just with one agency and they use multiple government-linked companies and multiple agencies to go at a single problem, to build an innovation ecosystem globally. When we go on about Singaporean government and how they do it, like my mom's Singaporean. I grew up going to visit my grandmother for Chinese New Year in Singapore every year, and I'm very close to my cousins over there. So I kind of watch how Singapore evolve as well, and it's very, very impressive. So I think Singapore is doing a lot of exciting things, and I think Malaysia is just starting to try to find its place. Same thing for Indonesia and Thailand, Vietnam, Philippines, all trying to find their place.
So the other aspect I would like to discuss with you is as a word of the Southeast Asian country, but the reality is really fragmented, right? So for example, the level of the economy is different, language is different, and the culture is also different, right? So if someone originated from the Malaysia and set up their own startup and get a finance in the somewhere, you know, someone who is based in the Singapore, but they're only a 5 million population market, right? So, but the other guy from the Thailand or Indonesia who succeeded financing in Singapore, but how do they do their business entire the Southeast Asian countries?
So I think of two things when I think about that. One is like generally speaking, every country when you study it, obviously you want to launch something over there. You talk about market readiness. You want to see how much of the population has buying power to buy whatever you want to sell. You want to see how many of them are connected to Facebook, so you can advertise to them, right? Go to Facebook Ads Manager and choose the country and the city and see how many of them exist, so you can advertise to them. You think generally about a lot of these things. Generally speaking, people also talk about how maybe credit card penetration is not very high, and so on and so forth. But I think that's sometimes, you think too much in generalities is a waste of time. One prominent VC came to Malaysia to do a tour. And then they asked me, and they told me the same things. They said, credit card penetration too low, the country not big enough, don't have enough money, not connected to smartphones or internet enough, don't think it's ready for e-commerce. I told the VC, I said that 11 years ago in Malaysia, there was an entrepreneur who wanted to start a company and only wanted to sell it online. And people were telling him, credit card penetration 11 years ago in Malaysia, even worse. The buying power, even worse. Not even broadband connection, is the dial-up connection is not, that's just terrible. And you're trying to sell something online, you're crazy. But he said that, I agree with you, generally all of that's true. But here's an exception. If you make something cheap enough, Malaysians will run and line up and buy it. So he launched a company to sell airline tickets, only online, low-cost airline. It's called AirAsia. Now it's a multi-billion-dollar company. And so when he launched it, I remember as a kid when AirAsia launched, like, we had friends and parents and all that, they would go look for someone who has a credit card, and they say, hey, I give you cash, you go and buy it for me, right? They would go to someone's house who has internet, say, okay, I'm going to go to your house because I want to buy an AirAsia ticket, right? And people got credit cards. People got more credit cards. People got internet connections because they started to see a reason that it can bring a benefit to their life. They can buy cheap airline tickets. There are people, so the credit card penetration and broadband penetration was rising, not directly as a result of AirAsia, but it was part of that. Now, if you were to live your life obeying generalities and obeying all these statistics, like, you just be a statistic yourself. You're going to lead a very general life. So I think the job of entrepreneurs and the job of very disruptive and innovative thinkers is not go around the world and look for generalities. You got to go and look for exceptions. You got to look, what is the exception to that rule? What is the one thing that you know that not many people know that you can exploit? And when you lead a life of looking for unique exceptions, you're going to lead a very exceptional life. You're going to build exceptional companies. You're going to do exceptional things. So I would say that you look at Southeast Asia and each of its markets, try to find an exception you can exploit, you're going to build a very, very big company. And this is why a lot of the companies that you've seen in Southeast Asia in the past 2 years that's grown very big, they're all very interesting in the way they've done it. And they all don't obey the generalities.
Thank you. Very good lecture. So we are running out of time. If we talk about their exceptions, as I mentioned, Osaka has a lot of the resources versus Tokyo, but can you imagine some exception which is going to be kind of super innovation originated from the Osaka? I know you have the only limited information and knowledge about the Osaka as well as the Japan itself, but if you have something.
So earlier when I was kind of jamming on this question with him, right, like I have a bunch of crazy ideas, so I just want to prepare you for it. So I was thinking a lot about not as much as we can think. I think about Osaka versus Tokyo. I think it's something in common with Malaysia and Singapore in a way.
Yeah, that's why I asking you.
Right, because like we're like, we got this big brother country who has everything, who has have everything, and then people are just moving there in droves, right? Yeah. So I also think about the second city in Malaysia, they call Penang. Penang is a more vibrant startup community than Kuala Lumpur, the capital. So I think a lot about these things. So I think on one hand, we can talk about competing and comparing with another city. But I want to talk about something else. I want to talk about how globally there's different places in the world that you would go there because of something unique it has. So I think earlier Don and a lot of the panel mentioned how, say, New York has a lot of advertising technology base over there, and you're an advertising-related tech company, you want to go to New York. So I think about that, like, if I'm going to start like a global company or I'm going to start a company, why would I go to New York versus Osaka? Why I want to go to Silicon Valley versus Osaka? Why I want to go Singapore versus Osaka? I want to try to think about how any city in the world can build something that is going to be globally attractive. Now that's going to be very exciting. And we don't even think to talk about Tokyo anymore. I mean, like, just take Tokyo out of the equation, Osaka versus the world. What do you have? So that's what I think about. Number two is that then I start thinking about what are the global opportunities that nobody has owned yet. So earlier on, I think from the panel, getting inspiration from Ari, and she's championing a lot of women entrepreneurship. So at 500, we champion a lot of diversity in our company and in the startups we do, not specifically women. Though we have a 50% management team, it's all women, and we probably at 30-40% of employees are women. Where is the best place in the world if you're a woman to start a startup today? I don't know. I have
Difficult question.
Yeah, I have no idea, right? Maybe some of you will know. Maybe I'm just too stuck in my man world to know, right? But it's like if so, where's the best place for a woman to start a startup? Where you've got a network of strong women mentors flying in and out, and working with these startups. You've got strong events, huge global conferences, like how CES is in Las Vegas. Right? Like, who the hell goes to Las Vegas apart from, for tech, right? But then CS happens, and then suddenly you bring all these people there. You think about South by Southwest, right? Being in Austin, Texas, right? You think of a global concept that you can put to play to that theme of women. So other global opportunities, I think, so I think if you go along the lines of thinking of other global opportunities, of where's the best place to start X kind of startup, and maybe you could make Osaka that's one way to think about it. Now, the second way to think about it as well is about what's in your hands. I think if we always try to play from a standpoint where we say, we don't have this, we don't have that, or we don't have enough this, it's kind of like very demotivating, and you're playing from a weak position. Why don't you talk about what you have? So if you see what Japan has, if you see what Osaka has, and what they have more than anywhere else in the world, and I don't know specifically what that is, if you go deeper into it, it could be quite interesting. Just for fun, right? Like I was jamming the idea with him, right? I think that one of the things that Japan has and they're kind of world leaders in is cute. It's kawaii. It's like the cuteness, the kind of from Hello Kitty to everything that you do. Now, my girlfriend, she watches a lot of YouTube, right? And she always makes me watch the videos she likes. So she's like, Khailee, you gotta watch this video. And it's the Japan Bunny Island. It's like an island in Japan where rabbits are running everywhere, right? She's making me watch the Bunny Island, right? Then the next week, she said, hey, Khailee, you gotta watch this video. So cute, so cute. It's the cat island in Japan. And then there's the cat cafe, then there's the owl cafe, the goat cafe, the penguin cafe. And so she's crazy of the Japan cute things, So she and her friends this year, they're planning a cute trip to Japan. We're gonna go to the bunny island, the cat island, and all the cafes with all the animals. And she said there's also a fox zoo where there's a lot of foxes. They're like red panda fire foxes, and they're like these squished up foxes. So she got a cute trip planned for herself, right? So, if cuteness is something that gets a lot of views on YouTube, cat videos and so on and so forth, and entire companies like BuzzFeed has huge vertical on cuteness, and Japan has been a pioneer of cute in the world, how did she take that to build something, to start playing off something? I don't know. But again, all these are just ideas of the kind of a thought process of, you want to do something for Osaka? Let's just put competition with Tokyo aside for a moment, and let's think about what the world needs now. And how can Osaka be number one in that? And number two, what does Osaka or Japan have that you can pull into Osaka to be one of the pillars of strength for its competitive position? So with those two ideas in mind, I hope this is a start of a longer conversation on how we can hack Osaka's ecosystem and make it great.
Thank you. We have only another 1 minute and 35 seconds, so I don't have any other questions to you, but if you have any comments or suggestions to the people in Osaka, please.
Well, that's a curveball question. Comments and suggestions. I think we gave a lot today.
Yeah, actually,
we took a lot of the notes, but I just want to share something that I noticed in the past 24 hours here. Now, so I think a lot of the people that you guys work with, they speak at different conferences, speak at many conferences, and today, like today over here, I tell you what, I like a few things which I found very different from the other conferences. I think today's conference was very focused. Like, you guys had very few speakers, and you guys were just focused on a very specific theme. So it really feels very potent in that sense. A lot of conferences that we speak at, they just want to throw more and more speakers. It's like this pizza with all the toppings on it, and then you're biting into it because you thought there's a lot of value in that, and it just tastes weird. You're doing what you're eating, right? So this one it feels like a really simple and very focused, and that's strong. Second thing I noticed is that there's a certain warmth from the moment I landed. and the people who've taken me around, your team has been doing a great job. I felt that every given moment I knew where I need to be, what's going on, you know. So there's a certain kind of hospitality. I'm not going to name out other conferences in Japan that I spoke at or anything, or other conferences in the world. But I think that if there's one thing that really stands out from what I've been experiencing is that you guys really care. There's a lot of people here who really, really care about Osaka, who really care about the experience of the speakers flying in, who really care about that the content of this conference actually makes an impact. And that is a great place to start. That's a great
actually,
place to start.
we run out of time, but just one question came up in my mind. I think culture is really important in terms of your startups. Not only startups, but the culture is very, very kind of principle, right? So how do you see the cultures in Malaysia versus culture in Singapore? How those cultures are different, and what is the advantage of the Malaysian culture, the weakness of the Malaysian cultures to kind of compete with the Singapore guys or Silicon Valley?
Well, I think that's a good question.
Or what made you successful in terms of your culture?
Well, I think Malaysia, there is a lot of the other entrepreneurs who built all those big companies. There is a culture of us not needing so much support to do what we need to do. You know, so Patrick Grove, who built Catch-Up Group, you know, he headquartered a lot of business. He started a lot of businesses in Malaysia, and when he couldn't find funding, he went to list his company in Australian Stock Exchange. He's like, I don't need VCs. I'm just go IPO my company straight, right, in a different stock exchange. So there's this attitude that, okay, you know, if I don't have any help, I'm just going to do it myself. So I think culturally that element is very, very strong, a very empowering kind of belief system. Whereas in some other cultures, you're like, oh, you know, my country doesn't have this, oh, I don't have that, that's why I cannot succeed, you know. So there's a lot of excuses. So I think that's important. I want to do one thing though. Can I put on that slide of the end slide that was there? I wanted to put make my contact information available.
もう一回スライド出してもらってもいいですか？彼のスライド。
He's like, dude, I'm talking to you.
Give us another 3 minutes, for sure.
Yeah, it's part of the last slide, if that's okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how different the Osaka culture is specifically from Tokyo, but something really seems more connected over here. People are generally more friendly. I think I don't know how that helps, you know, in terms of like making a thing.
Which slide? Which page?
It's the end, all the way to the end. Racing, the end. I'm racing. Boom, that's the one. So, as I mentioned, I think this is a start of a longer conversation. I think the ecosystem is not going to be built overnight. But the fact is that you guys start with so much care. I think that was the point I was trying to make earlier. Like, you guys start with so much care. I know something's going to happen. As long as people care enough to do something, that's like a really, really great place to start. Since they've given us extra time, that's it, huh?
Okay, all right, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Khailee, thank you very much. I think we could all feel the passion from that. Yeah, I just got a burst of energy from that. So this almost brings us to the final session, which is the International Pitch Contest. Doki doki. No? So we're all very excited to listen to that. So the next session will be starting at 5:10. So we're going to have a little break first. And can we ask that you please, as a sign of respect to the pitchers, could you please be back in your seats by 5:10 so that they can have our full attention. So this is your chance to run off to the toilet and grab a drink. And please be back at 5:10. And one more thing, can I remind you to fill out the questionnaire sheet as well, please, and hand it to a member of staff. So we'll be waiting for you all at 5:10 or 5:09, if possible, and have a nice break. Oh. ょう。じゃあちょっと取ってきますね。 Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Everybody, if you could just hurry up and find your seat, that would be fantastic. It's nice to have our big, happy family back together again. Last year, for this event, we had about 300 people. This year, we have over 500 people. So that's amazing. Fantastic turnout. So next year, maybe we're going to have to hold it in Osaka Joe Hall or something. I don't know, somewhere. 10,000 people next year, hopefully. So anyway, I can see some people still coming in trying to find their seats. So this is wonderful. I was just laughing, actually. I was thinking of Khailee's comment about the kawaii side of Japan. And it's true because all my friends around the world actually send me YouTube videos of Bunny Rabbit Island and Fox Island and Neko Island, so it's true. Everybody wants to come to Japan for the cuteness. So there we go, everybody making your way into the seats. So now, as you know, we've come to the final session, which is the International Pitch Contest. I know you've all been excitedly waiting for this corner, and I know our contestants are all excited, maybe a little bit nervous, so let's give them a really, really warm welcome and support them. They have 5 minutes each, which is going to be wonderful, so let's give them our full attention. For this session, I'd like to hand over to Hiraushi-san, and he'll be moderating the pitch contest. So let's welcome him onto the stage. That's good.
This is the final session of the HackOsaka today. And thank you, Diane. We received so many applicants from all over the world, and actually we have visited 4 cities, 6 cities, 4 countries, etc. And as a result, we have 10 entrepreneurs who is going to pitch today. And before we start the pitch contest, let me introduce the 5 judges. First, Dan Burden from Texas, New York, as he delivered his wonderful keynote speech. And Ari Horie from Silicon Valley, but the nationality is Japanese. And Hannes from Sweden, thank you. Now he's based in Tokyo. And Tim, he's American, but he has lived in Japan 17 years. I'm sorry, 24 years. Almost 1/4 century. And Khailee, very active. Where is Khailee? Oh, okay, thank you. And Alan Miner, over there. So those judges discuss and decide 3 winners, gold, silver, and the bronze. Also, the other special prize sponsored by one company, and they're going to present the special prize. So, he's ready for the first pitch. Okay. So first one, Kanji Noguchi. He was born in Osaka Prefecture. And he grew up here. And also he is a member of the first Silicon Valley program hosted by the city of Osaka 2 years ago. And he was so influenced by the culture of the Silicon Valley. And then he decided to become a student entrepreneur, and then going to make a pitch today. Thank you. Come on stage.
Hi, I'm Kanji Noguchi, CEO of Kofen. Let me first talk about the background a bit. Nowadays, with the development of mobile and cloud technology, many people think it is more productive and cool to use tools and services by self-interest and own decision rather than pushed by companies. This is called consumerization of IT. Under the circumstance, the people use the Facebook and Line as a communication tool with business-related people, even though it is not appropriate way as a corporate employee. This C2B model is getting common, and the consumer product that can be used for business is preferred by business consumer. Kofen began to hack business meeting to boost productivity on your business. Now, I'm ready to talk about Kofen. How many meetings do you have every month? What kind of things do you record? What kind of things do you forget? Or imagine how much and how long you actually remember them. With Kofen, you can record all the information related to the meeting without changing your business manner. So let me quickly show you a demo of how to use Kofen at the first meeting.
We would like to introduce Kofen, the next generation of exchanging business cards and contacts. You no longer need to bring your paper business card and write down your SNS IDs on the card. It's really simple, easy to start. Just register at Kofen with your business card information. You can capture your current business card as well. You can now exchange your business card as exactly as what you do with a regular printed business card. If your contacts do not have Kofen, no worries, you can send part of the contact information over text and email. Boom. Unlike your current paper business card, with Kofen you can exchange yours with a number of people at the same time. You just need to choose which people to exchange with, and if the person selected also has chosen you, you're all done. Kofen enables you to manage meetings and replicate those meetings on your smartphone. When, who, and where you met those people, who was sitting where, and what you discussed. You can take notes regarding individuals you met in the meeting, so you never lose the information and the impression when and where you exchanged the cards, what they look like, and what you thought in the meeting. So let's start your next generation of business card exchange and meetings with Kofen.
So I would kindly suggest you to download Kofen as soon as possible before all of your business card is gone at today's HackOsaka networking party. Kofen has three major functions. First, you can record the entire situation of the meeting, when, where you had, who you met, and what they discussed. Second, based on the information and record, you can create and keep your meeting minutes on Evernote. You might want to save audio file as well. Third, in addition to those meeting information, you can collect information from other sources like a business card and profile data, and you can manage your social network account as well. What is more, the Kofen will help you to keep your information automatically updated once you exchange your contact with others over Kofen. So as you saw now, Kofen is not just a tool that helps you manage meetings. This is the application that lets you take advantage of adding quality to your existing and new contact currently messed up everywhere. This high quality of data you have is the real value of Kofen. So this high quality of contact managed by you is the core of our business model. For you to collect information using Kofen is to create a valuable information asset which can be exported to the systems that company uses, CRM like a Salesforce.com, a marketing automation like a Marketo, and more. Our management team consists of young entrepreneurs who can quickly meet the needs of business consumer, investors and advisors who have outstanding global level enterprise cloud computing expertise. With this combination, we believe we will become a leader in the space of C2B, the next generation of consumerized IT. So Kofen will hack everything about business from your personal productivity. Thank you for your listening.
Thank you. Next one is also from Japan. Shuhei Yamada. The name of the company is Up Performer. Come on stage.
Hello guys, I'm Shuhei Yamada, CEO at the Performer. So we, a Performer, help performance of you and your chip with IoT and sensing wearable devices and sensing technologies. So we started in July 2014, and 6 months later, we exhibited at CES, International CES. So you all know soccer, right? So most of 600 million soccer players are amateur. So as a matter of course, they want to become better because they want to win. And as so here, what makes them better and what leads them to win? So the key factor is teamwork. This is more important than soccer skills, they answered. And we focus on their positions to measure how they work as a team. So professional soccer team has special video system for analysis and 4 or more video cameras track players, and after that, its data needs to be modified by specialists. That data is very accurate, but the high cost and poor portability makes it hard, even for a professional soccer team, to introduce the system. On the other hand, amateur soccer team has video systems, but so they take down and how they move, and in notebook. Apparently, it is easy to introduce, but it tends to be inaccurate and take time. So, Eagle-Eye solves problems associated with cost and portability and usability. So all you need is your smartphone and our Eagle-Eye. So you wear around this device or upper on your arm, and information it gathers will be visualized. So you can see player tracking and heat map, distance covered, and speed with your smartphone. So we conducted user testing and review, and the team members said, so do not make it into product. So because their coach would find out they are not running. So you see, the letter of intent of our first customer, so who decided to buy our Eagle-Eye, and when it released. So we have 3 brands: debt service and selling devices and providing applications. our target market. The target market of football equipment is growing rapidly toward 2020 Olympic in Tokyo. And the market of IoT is growing rapidly as well. So this is, there are 7 members on my team, and they are professionals. And we have planning to launch a crowdfunding in this year. So we change the invisible into the visible and help your performance up. Thank you.
Thank you. Next one is from the Berlin, German, TDR. Name of the company is Smart-Check-Up. Are you ready?
Good afternoon, Osaka. I'm going to tell you today the story of Smart Checkups, which is a startup that is an inspection suite to inspect any type of property assets and to store and archive that and manage that in the cloud. I basically tend to believe that within the internet industry you have 2 types of people. On one hand you have the Einsteins with crazy, sometimes very disrupting ideas, and then you have those who build products to solve specific type of problems. And I tend to associate myself in the second category. The story of Smart Checkups basically started a few years ago when I shared and rented out my apartment. I had my real estate agent coming over to do an inspection. This is something that is very typical in Europe. So there's somebody coming over, he walks around the place, takes notes, takes pictures, and then eventually he goes back to the office to draft a report. Then eventually, a few weeks later, I'll get it nicely written out back to me. And I said to myself, this person needs to go back to the office, type everything out. He probably needs to figure out a way to kind of upload all those pictures, blend them in a Microsoft Word, play with it a bit, to get like a report that looks very professional, and then get it back to me. And I said, like, can this not be done more efficiently? Is there not another way to kind of help these people to do inspections, to gather and collect that data more efficiently? So there are a lot of these inspections done in Europe, but there are way more another type of inspections basically done. And I said to myself, okay, let's build a solution. Let's build a product that is helping these people. So I started off analyzing these different type of processes. You have people in the field collecting data. All that data needs to be nicely structured and eventually stored. If they work with extra data, such as pictures, it all needs to kind of be associated to the report as well. So let's create an application that basically unifies and blends all these processes together in a single app. And that's what we did, and we built Smart Checkups. So basically today, Smart Checkups is an application that allows you to inspect any type of asset. So you can create any type of template for any type of property. You can add pictures, annotate these pictures, add notes, etc. Eventually you create, with a click of a button, a fully professional and a brandable report. On top of that, also the whole process is 100% digital. And the nice thing on top of all these efficiencies is that we reduce the time spent to 50 and up to 50%, which is a lot of time. So eventually I started doing this in Belgium. And Belgium is a very small country in Western Europe. So eventually I had to expand. I have to say, okay, how can we go and make this bigger? So I made a move to go to Berlin. Berlin and London are the 2 hotspots basically in Europe at this very moment. So I moved there. I joined also an accelerator focusing on real estate technology. It's the accelerator of the largest real estate listing site of Europe, Immobilien Scout. They helped me to accelerate and brought it and launch it out in larger markets. We also won that accelerator as the most promising real estate tech startup in Europe as well. And eventually today it's like a full cloud solution for people doing inspections. So you can archive, everything gets nicely stored, you can report and look into the data as well. You can also work with multiple people and a whole team on doing inspections. So today we're focusing primarily on real estate and commercial real estate, in particular with offices, multifamily, retail and hotels. If you see At the moment, we're focusing on primarily on Western Europe. We have Germany, UK, Belgium, Netherlands as the biggest markets today for us. But if you see opportunity, if you're active in real estate, in commercial real estate, then do feel free to reach out to me afterwards. I'm happy to discuss. Thank you.
Thank you, Didier. Next one is one of the two females this year to going to pitch. Emily from London. Come on stage.
Hi, I'm Emily. I'm the CEO and founder of Blaze. Blaze create life-saving products for urban cyclists. Our flagship product is called the Laser Light. It tackles the biggest challenge for city cyclists, which has been caught in a blind spot or a vehicle turning across an unseen bike. It's the most common cause of fatality. The Laser Light is a front-facing white light required by law, but it also has a laser, double-handing, sorry. And it projects the symbol of a bike onto the road in front of you. It allows a bike to be seen when they're otherwise invisible. Put it down, sorry. Sorry, blinded judge. The most common cause of fatality is the blind spot. 79% of bikes are hit going straight ahead, and a vehicle turns into them. The most common one of those is the blind spot, and the second most common is a vehicle pulling out of a side junction in front of a bike. In both of these situations, the threat is in front of you, and the laser light allows you to be seen before you would otherwise. Cycling is booming. Over 500,000 journeys are made by bike in London every day. As a nation, we have about 800,000 commuting cyclists. But in Japan, you have 14 times this number, with 11.5 million. But it's dangerous. Last year, over 3,000 cyclists were killed or seriously injured on Britain's roads. In London, we had 6 fatalities in just a fortnight. The Laser Light is the ultimate product for urban cyclists. It uses the very latest in laser technology, developed in Tokyo for pico projectors in mobile phones. It also has an unbeatable battery, a Sony lithium. I use my light every day and charge it about once a month. It's magnetic USB charge, has a backlit control panel. It's also fully waterproof. You can take your light scuba diving. The Laser Light and Blaze began as my final year project at university. I studied physics at Oxford and then went and studied product design. Oops, sorry. I should complete my blank. Having never been on a bike, I decided to cycle the length of the UK, 1,400 kilometres. I then decided to tackle the biggest challenge, which is personal safety. We launched the very first Kickstarter in the UK, wanting to raise £25,000. We raised this in less than a month. Went on to raise £30,000 beyond our target. We've also raised investment from some valuable partners, including the world-famous Index Ventures and the Branson family, raising a total of about £1.5 million. Today, Blaze employs 7 people full-time in London. We have 2 consultants and a team with our partner company in China. Our flagship product has been shipping around the world for a year, and today we are selling to 47 different countries, direct online. We've also partnered with some valuable retailers, such as Evans Cycles, which is the biggest bike retailer in the UK, and the MoMA Design Store in New York. We have received some fantastic press. We've been featured in the BBC, CNN, Times, Telegraph, New York Times, Wall Street Journal, Wired, and many more, without spending a single penny on PR. The Laser Light is the first in a range of products for urban cyclists from Blaze. We are developing future products under the consumer brand, but also partnering with some global companies to develop some extremely large applications for the technology. These I sadly can't talk about today, but what I can say is watch this space as Blaze innovates the way we travel in our cities.
Thank you, Emily. Next one is Tetsuya Wada. Name of the company is Engage. Are you ready? Come on stage.
Good evening. Thank you very much. Thank you for giving us this opportunity. My name is Ted Wada. I'm a CEO of Engage Inc. And today I'd like to talk about our brand new service. The name is Relation, a communication platform. So let's get started. Before jumping in, have you ever felt any bad experience when you send an email, inquiry email to shops or the companies? I think at least everyone has one such a bad experience. And so do I. And sometimes those things, those bad experiences, escalate, makes us really frustrated. And those things sometimes escalate to claims. And actually a claim is a huge matter because a claim really hits the company's sales and profits. Here's the data. Tomohiko Horiuchi, Business and Technology Daily News says, the opportunity loss by mishandling of claims exceeds 45 million yen every year. It's very, very huge. Is it nice if we could reduce even a 10% of this number? Even a 10% is 4.5 million in yen. It's really high still. But how? Here's the solution, relation. Let's look at the screen. This is a relation main screen. Looks like it's an ordinary mail service, but it's beyond. Not only one person, but team members can be registered into this system, service. So, and everyone can access by their own ID. Whenever some of the members starts writing the mail, it prompts, so everyone can see who is working on which email. All mails comes to action required box, not inbox. And when people write in a reply, the number gets reduced. So it means keep this number 0 means that we can say that no more action required mails left. When we compose the mail, it's very important to understand what's our background conversation history. Relation has another nice feature, which is timeline. By clicking this button, displays our background conversation history between the company and that customer, one-on-one. And also writing reply, it has another nice feature, which is approval request. So even a newcomer, the person who don't understand how to write email in a proper manner, they can ask the approval request to upper layer person, manager, colleagues. It has another nice feature, which is that the nice chart, so that That's why that everyone can understand how many mails are coming and also how many mails are carried by each person. Not only mail. It supports Twitter. Relation can register multiple Twitter accounts. In a case, relation displays not only mails, but also tweets, mentions, and direct messages. Of course, keyword search. So it means that, of course, those things, not only viewing those tweets, also, of course, people can make a reply. Mail reply to be sent to mail address. And tweets, of course, will be sent, posted to twitter.com. So it means no more logging into Twitter. Mail and Twitter can be operated by one tool, one method. More features, a lot of features relation has. That's the relation. Engage relation builds up next level of customer satisfaction. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Wada-san. Next one is from Berlin, German, fintech startup. Robert, the name of the company is Cashbot. You ready?
The banking industry is in turmoil. People have lost faith. Deciding who to trust with your money has become a stressful task. But now you can breathe easy, because we give you money peace of mind. Reliable, simple, tailored to you. Cashboard.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's face the truth. Today, nobody has anything positive to say about banks. And that is not only a problem, it's a market, and it's a huge market. In Europe alone, we have 6,500 billion euros simply laying around on cash time call money deposits, even below inflation. That means 1/3 of all EU liquid assets are lying around. And we are solving this problem, offering a solution which enables the average retail client to invest their money completely online without going to a bank, without talking to a financial advisor. Our solution is reliable. With us, you get a completely diversified portfolio, automated management, starting from as low as 1,000 euro. And after you press the button, no matter if markets rise or fall, your investment is managed completely automatically based on algorithms. Second, our solution is independent. We don't sell you just one financial product of one bank or one asset class like ETFs, like other platforms from the US. We offer you the whole range of financial products from cash, funds, ETFs, but also alternative investments like gold and real estate, and even the sexy online stuff like bitcoins, crowd investing, or peer-to-peer lending from one bank account. Third, we are secure. You don't need to trust us for money, poor startup. We have an open technology enabling us to work together with mainly every world bank. And in Germany, currently, we have contracts with 2 big banks, which means our customers simply hold their money on a bank account with state deposit insurance and use our tool only to steer their money. And fourth, our solution is fair. With us, you pay only when you make profit. A fair profit share of 10% based on a high watermark only on net profits. There's no account fee, no fee on trades, there's nothing charged on any financial products like front-end surcharges or funds. The solution is quite easy. You go on the website, the computer will answer you, will ask you a couple of questions, and based on your answers, we provide you with a tailored, diversified portfolio. In the second step, you open an account completely online with one form, no paperwork needed. And the third step, when you like the portfolio, you deposit money and you start the investment with only one click. And after that, the magic happens because you can travel into holidays, you can work, you can live your life, and we take care of your money. What we did so far, we started with crowdfunding, raised 100,000 euro in only 50 minutes, which was the European record as the fastest crowdfunded startup 2012. We started with another big prize in November. We won 4 million euros at the renowned NOAA conference in London in TV budget, just closed our first institutional funding round. And already we are now one of the biggest online asset management platforms in the German-speaking market. In the next year, we will heavily scale up our business, and we are looking forward to heavily internationalize with a strong focus to Middle East and Asia. Our mission is to stress the banks so that you can relax about your investments. And till I have 30 seconds left, thank you very much, and thank you for the hospitality I received here in Japan. It's my first visit, and I like it. Thank you.
Thank you. Next one is from Philippines, but he is originally from Canada. Farouk, the founder of the M Clinica. You ready? Come on stage.
Okay. My name is Farouk Morali, and I'm the CEO of M Clinica. So I want you to take a look at these 4 pharmacies. These are typical pharmacies that you would find in any emerging market. These ones are from the Philippines. They're independent mom and pop shop pharmacies. They don't have computers. They don't have point of sale systems. So we asked the question, what connects all of these pharmacies? And the answer is nothing. And that is exactly the problem. You see, if nothing connects these, it creates a great commercial challenge. Pharmaceutical companies like Pfizer, like Takeda, like Taisho, have a problem accessing these pharmacies, accessing the patients buying from these pharmacies, and most importantly, accessing key data and analytics to help grow their businesses. But there's also a social challenge. When you have an inefficient supply chain, it deals and create situations like an affordability challenge for patients. In the Philippines, a single pill for diabetes costs the same as 1.5 kilos of rice. So make the decision. Do you buy 1 pill for diabetes, the symptoms of which you may or may not be able to feel every day? Or do you buy and feed your family for a week? Those are the decisions. So we thought to ourselves, what if we could connect them all using mobile technology? And that is exactly what we did. Now we have a nationwide network of pharmacies, all connected through one common mobile technology platform. We now have more outlets networked under our technology than the largest chain in the country. What we have done is shown that there is strength in numbers. This is the dare to dream moment. Imagine being able to create an assembly of all the little guys to make something truly big. So how does it work? Pharmaceutical companies sign up with us, and if their patients come into any one of our stores, they're able to get an instant discount on their medicine. For example, diabetes medicine, which is normally 100 pesos, they're given a 10 peso discount instantly. They simply have to provide their mobile phone number. An authorization is done, and the patient is now registered into a program We help to extend care to that patient. We want them to better afford their medicine, but we also want them to have better health outcomes, to be better educated, to make sure that they are compliant to the medicine that they take. And if we can make the patient better, then they will actually buy more medicine, which makes the pharmacy sell more, the distributor sell more, and the pharmaceutical company sell more. What we do is make the patient get better. So how does this work? This is a video actually looking at real data from a client and simulating it. So you can see a client signs up, they launch a campaign, and instantly everyone is made aware that the product is part of it. And now you can see transactions happening in real time across it. Remember, these are pen and paper pharmacies. There are no computers, there's no internet. And yet, we are taking something that is truly offline, but making it online. Our network has access to 20 million patients in the Philippines. And we did this in 6 months. So what does it also give? It gives a great deal of data. Now, I used to be a former pharmaceutical company exec at Pfizer and Roche. This was all data that we really needed and wanted, but never had. And we wanted it for markets that were growing super fast. Markets like Philippines, Indonesia, Vietnam. But now we're giving them that data. We're giving them the data on the type of physicians that are prescribing, the type of pharmacies that are selling, the type of customers that they have, which is making them be more efficient at delivering care to the patient. So we've worked with a wide variety of pharmaceutical companies. But really, what's important to know is that mClinica is a fully aligned solution. Everyone wins. The patient gets more affordable medicine and achieves better health outcomes. The pharmacy increases customer loyalty and has better margins because of collective buying power. And the pharmaceutical company has increased sales. At mClinica, we are using mobile technology to connect pharmaceutical companies to pharmacies to make healthcare better for the patient. Thank you.
Thank you. Next one is another female pitch presenter today, Miwa. The name of the company is M Square. Are you ready? Come on stage.
Hi, I'm Miwa, co-founder of Depago. Back to 2010 in Paris, I was looking for a job opportunity after MBA, and I had many interviews, meetings, but of course I had to commute to the center of Paris to attend those meetings. And by the way, before moving to Europe, I used to live in Tokyo, and so I already had this card before going to Paris. So this is possible. I think everybody here knows what this card is. But unfortunately, in Paris, Metro of Paris just had started the operation of this one, Navigo. And yeah, I thought this card worked here would be very, very convenient, but it didn't work. So I had to buy metro ticket every single time. That was so pain in the neck. And this idea came up in my mind. What if Passmo worked here, or what if we had one integrated card which could be accepted anywhere in the world? I want to ask you this question: who likes various currencies in the same wallet, or with an ugly giant wallet, even more many credit cards? Nowadays, even worse. We have, especially in Japan, we have many IC cards. For example, AD, Passmo, with Suica ID, or Nanako, etc. Some of you guys may have a mobile wallet too. So you need to memorize a lot of PIN codes, passwords, many ways of using applications and services. Plus, all these things might be stolen. So, how can we solve these problems? I think the ideal payment services should be simple, secure, and correct. For instance, by using vain information. We, Team de Pago, which means the payment in Spanish actually, has started the development since last April. I show you a demo how it works. At cashier, the customer chooses de Pago. Enter your birthday to accelerate the authentication speed. And waiting for the authentication. Yep, this is for scanning your bank information. Confirm your payment. And send a receipt to your email account. By the way, non-cash payments market trends here. Transaction would be more than double. Growth rate is quite high, especially in the developing markets. And by 2015, mobile payments are still growing 60.8% annual growth base. So competitors are here, but all of them are using cards or apps. And this is our team. And so now I show the demo, and based on the research, we are going to develop our own gadget by this June. And we have much potential and prospects are here. One of them is for the remittance, the other one is for the transport. So we want and we need love from you and a love of more sincere advices and engineers.
Timekeeping is very punctual. Sorry. Next one, Wei Wan from China. The name of the company is Digit Address. Okay.
Hello, everybody. This is Wei Wan from Digital Address. So you all know that there is a breaking news a few weeks ago that drone crashed in White House. It is a huge damage for the industry because the people and the government, they are always carrying the security, and now they are even carrying more. But at the same time, there is a bigger and bigger interest of this field. We all know that Amazon, they are always trying to deliver their package by the drone, but since the United States government is still pending their experiment. But there is a breaking news also on just 1 week ago in China that the giant e-commerce company, Alibaba, made the first experiment to deliver their package by a drone, and they success. The drone flies 16 miles, and they deliver it just in a few minutes. We also know that the FedEx, UPS, DHL, they are all developing those projects. But what is the problem? Why the people and the government, they are thinking so much? Because the privacy and the control and the security, especially about security. And the US scientists make an experiment. they found that now you can easily control a UAV, that is a drone next by a fake GPS signal. So that is very dangerous if someone control your drone to fly to, for example, White House. So we are solving this problem. There are too many technology. I just simply say that our technology just combines the device authentication, time authentication, and the position certification. That can make sure that the GPS signal cannot be edited. If it be edited, we will know immediately and we can do something to control it. So we are currently cooperating a lot of companies in Japan to make this system. So we also know that there are so many unmanned systems in developing and they develop very fast. So we all carry that because there's nobody inside the machine, it's all controlled by network, by internet. If someone just control it, other people control it, that is very damage. So all these systems can use our technology, especially about this tiny drone that they can fly anywhere they want. Surely you don't want those kind of things enter your house. They take out with a camera or video. So we can control it, say that those places, like White House, like New York, like the airport, like the airbase, those places you can never enter it. Even you want it, so we will make it turn off the power or something to control it. Especially also like the tiny drone we mentioned. We can make a signal to him that now this place is restricted area. You cannot enter anymore. And also, as I said, the privacy. You don't want your house or your company has been scanned by a camera with a drone with a camera. So you can just use our technology to put a device here, just image the signal that you can. Those drones can never close. So we make a comparison with the current GPS module. So it's unsecure, and because there's no authentication in the module, you can easily hack it. But our service, we are secure and with time and device and the position authentication. And also, it will be provided a trusted record for the government and for the other agency. Our price is a little bit higher, but we provide a much more secure service. So also for Google Glass, you can, with our device, you cannot turn on your camera, turn on your video in some special area. Also the payment system we have is a member. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you, Wei. Time goes fast. Next one is the last one. OP from Thailand. The name of the company is Stamp. I want to say something.
Thank you. Hi everyone. My name is OP Lapansri from Bangkok, Thailand. I am the founder and CEO of Stamp, and I'm here to show you a little bit about our technology. Stamp is a very simple device that provides multi-factor secure authentication, so basically 2FA in a very uncomplicated user experience. The video that you see here is with our showcase application called Stamp, where we give merchants a stamp device where they can very simply stamp the card, the loyalty cards of consumers, of their customers directly on the mobile phone instead of scanning QR codes, instead of using any sort of a Bluetooth or any NFC. What makes Stamp special is that it's a very easy to implement device. You don't need to integrate with a POS, which is a big thing for merchants, and we take security very highly. Each device has a unique ID, and in that device also has OTP, so this is how we guarantee the integrity of the security for each and every application that we're used with. the way we communicate with the device is directly through the touchscreen. So we utilize the architecture of the touchscreen, and we communicate it without having to pair with the phone. And this is really important because a lot of times people don't have the Bluetooth turned on, they don't have NFC turned on, and you still want to be able to interact with that device. We've been working on Stamp for a couple years now. We have an application in the marketplace in Thailand, which is around loyalty cards and O2O engagement. We have about 300,000 or so downloads. You can find us in about 300-400 locations in Thailand. We've processed over 1 million transactions there, and for the loyalty cards, we have about a 40% retention rate. We've had the opportunity to work with some fantastic partners, Citibank, some FMCG partners just seeing retail corporations, and some wonderful integration partners. Like for example, here in Japan, we have Danao. So the question is, we started working with loyalty cards for a long time for SMEs. Now, what we're focused on now is how are we bridging the gap for the loyalty for the SMEs to the big companies. The question is, where is that gap? We've all used credit card points before. We swipe all the time and we get points for our actions. We take we take flights, we get points for that, we get mileage. Maybe we've done some online shopping. In all these situations, the question arises where, are you really valuing those reward points? Are you going out and you're enjoying the redemptions that they have in place? For the airline miles, maybe you fly all the time, or you don't fly all the time, and a lot of times you don't burn these points. You don't have a chance to actually redeem these points for what you really want. You don't have a chance to get any upgrades, things like that. What we provide is a way for them to actually connect with the big merchants and actually allow you to connect with the big merchants and redeem those points anywhere you want. Big corporations have a big problem where they accumulate loyalty points on their balance sheets. A lot of these reward points are accumulated on the balance sheets as a liability, and they need a way to create turnover for these. Infrastructure is expensive in the marketplace. It's hard to issue these EDC terminals and these Suica terminals so that they can burn those points and connect with those merchants. And frankly, they don't like to connect with the small businesses. Merchants are the key stakeholders here, and they're very difficult to deal with. They don't like complexity. POS integration is very difficult for them. And at the end of the day, as much as they care about loyalty, they want to have just more foot traffic in the business. So today, what we're going to introduce you is Pay with Points, right? We're looking for a way to bridge the gap between the partners and the big merchants. What we do is we allow the merchants to use Stamp to place in the business and connect directly with those merchants. So you can access your points in real time, and you can connect and burn those points for, say, a cup of coffee or a bowl of noodles, or maybe use it for dry cleaning. So these points automatically become more tangible for you. They become more valuable. It's essentially a virtual currency, so to speak. For partners, this is fantastic because it provides a really good turnover for their points, and it allows you to build the customer loyalty for your customers. Merchants are happy because you're driving more traffic to their business. And at the end of the day, Stamp, we're happy because we can charge perhaps on a per transaction basis or license the technology to the merchants to receive these partnerships. Stamp is, I guess you could say, Stamp has its own application. We also do some white label stuff. But what's most important is that we have to integrate our SDK into a variety of partner apps in order for them to connect into the kind of Stamp network and access these devices wherever these touch points are placed. You can use it in retail, you can use it in gaming, you can use it for perhaps prepaid gift cards, anywhere that you want to burn these points. Our team is based in Bangkok, Thailand. You can find us in Hong Kong, you can find us in the US, you can find us in Thailand, and hopefully in Japan soon. And that's all we have for you today. So basically, digital hanko is a way to put it in Japan. Thank you.
How did you like it? Thank you for all of the pitch presenters. And I'm going to invite and introduce the director, Yoshikawa-san. He is a representative for Osaka City's Civil Planning Division. I would like to ask him to make a presentation of the Osaka City's strategy for the global innovation. Ready? You're going to use our keyboard.
Hello everyone from all over the world. Welcome to Osaka and HackOsaka 2015. I'm Mr.Yoshikawa, the head of Osaka Innovation Hub. Thank you very much for your coming. I would like to express my special thanks for supporters. And also, I would like to express my special thanks to these supporters or sponsors which directly donating this pitch contest, which we just had. Thank you very much. And then, I would like to tell you about our Osaka Innovation Hub, OIH, who we are, and what we have been doing. First, I would like to mention about goal. Our goal is to build innovation ecosystem in the Kansai region. For users, our goal is to build a place where entrepreneurial spirit is awakened and entrepreneurs can meet people in order to grow, and the company, whether they are large or small or even startups, can work together with the outside resources in the city. This enables open innovation. In order to realize this goal, we need to establish a common understanding in the city that entrepreneurs, founders, or company leaders are heroes or heroines because they are passionately dedicating themselves with taking risks to solving problems and creating values for society. And it is important that they are creating jobs and managing to maintain employment, which lead stable society and stable family life, right? Based on this understanding or respect for them, we would like to make Osaka a city that produces those entrepreneurs and raise them to grow successfully, and to have those successful entrepreneurs help next startup to succeed as well. In order to build such innovation ecosystem, we need people and knowledge resources, such as university and research institute as a providers of the cutting-edge technology and young for the entrepreneurs, and also the mentors as advisors for the entrepreneurs, existing companies as a collaborator with those entrepreneurs, and business angels and venture capitalists as a financial supporters. Here in Kansai, we have a good human and knowledge resources. For instance, Kansai has a very dense student population of 29 students per 1,000, while Tokyo region has a 31 per 1,000. We are also living in one of the most technologically advanced areas in the world. There are many prominent universities and research institutes located in here. And also, we also have good manufacturing capabilities to create what entrepreneurs envision. In fact, Osaka has the biggest cluster of manufacturers, of small and medium-sized manufacturers, making things from toothbrushes to the space satellite. We also have big companies that could collaborate with those startups. Kansai is one of the most promising areas in the world to generate innovation. But in order to make innovation really happen, we need an infrastructure to allow people and knowledge to meet and to have interaction occur among them. Therefore, Osaka Innovation Hub's mission is providing the best opportunities for meeting among entrepreneurs, mentors, technologies, existing companies, and investors, and so forth. One of the major events for meeting people is a hackathon. A hackathon is an event for creating new things by the teams of people who have never met before. In hackathon, they are required to be open-minded and to work together to whoever they may be to create new things. The hackathon we made was called Mono-Appli Hackathon. Mono-Appli means a hardware being associated with IT application connected to the internet, which may be called Internet of Things or IoT. We are very proud that we had a first hackathon dedicated to the IoT in Japan. The first hackathon gave birth a startup later called by the moth. They launched a product called Mothband, like this. Last year, using crowdfunding. They are featured in various media, and the product has been ranked as one of the top-selling items in Amazon toy segment. We are very proud that they are their achievements. Congratulations, Moth. And we have been doing several hackathons with big companies like Sharp, NTT West, and Manch Broadcasting System, MBS. NTT West and MBS is going to bring a new TV program or new service onto the market. They are currently working together with the teams that won prizes. Hackathon with Sharp contributed to a unique feature to their new model of robot cleaner, which they have launched onto the market as well. As you see, Hackathon has been becoming a tool for open innovation. Now I would like to mention about here, we are holding Hackathon in English for attracting talents of foreign residents in Japan, including students. The hackathon called Kansai Masha is going to make smartphone application for solving the problem for the foreign travelers. We are going to do this hackathon in collaboration with a publisher called Kansai Scene, which is a free paper magazine for foreigners. Anyway, if you are interested in this, join this project. Don't miss it. We are establishing OIH as the best place for hackathon in Japan. And another event for meeting people is the startup pitch events. One of the pitch events is held on a regular basis. Some of them start early morning from 7 a.m. twice a month. Actually, the pitch event is for making connections between stakeholders like venture capitalists, companies, and entrepreneurs and medias. And another events are regularly, not regular, but periodical mentor-instructed pitch events. For instance, in collaboration with Yoshimoto Kogyo. Yoshimoto Kogyo, as you know, they are doing business for more than 100 years related to the entertainment communication business. So they are some of the most suitable company to teach communication skill to the entrepreneurs, because entrepreneurs need such skill in order to visualize their invisible plan or dream to the audience. We even provide a chance to pitch in a Silicon Valley. In fact, Moth did the pitch in Silicon Valley with their early prototype. They said they were encouraged by the Silicon Valley to move on their business. Not only Moth, but also other people, participants, received a good impact from the Silicon Valley. One example, one participant, Mr. Shono, who was then student, having a job offer for the company, quit his first career when he returned to home from the tour. Ooh, scary. But he founded his company called Warranty, and he had succeeded in getting financed by the company that he met at OIT event. We are hoping he will be becoming a role model for young people to follow. Now, I would like to mention about that we, KDDI, Infinity Lab, and OIH have just announced an agreement to collaborate in accelerating entrepreneurs selected by the pitch contest. If you are interested in this program, please let me know. We are establishing OIH as one of the best places for pitch contests. And we are connecting it to the rest of the world. This international pitch contest is such a connection. Another meeting, in addition to those hackathon and the meeting events, we are now encouraging meetings by the business community leaders for aiming at creating new markets and their own business ecosystems. For example, there is a robot community called iRobo. I means here internet. They are producing by 2020 a robot, 100 kinds of different robots. Huge. Connecting to the internet, which may be called IoT robot. They are using in OIH, making the OIH Osaka a center of their IoT robot. We are looking for their progress. Anyway, we are establishing OIH as a center of business community leaders. I've been talking about events we are providing, and I've also mentioned people who had had their life changed by meeting people in those events. Therefore, we believe we need a place to inspire us, help us identify ourselves, know what opportunities we have, and find out where we should go from a global perspective. That place is Osaka Innovation Hub. We are making Osaka Innovation Hub an inspirational environment for leading and innovation, full of talents, technologies, information, and more importantly, full of enthusiasm, excitement, and strong will to pursue goals. Meeting, gathering, connecting, combining, interaction and collaboration. These are elements that core values of the Osaka Innovation Hub, and they are really the power and basis for open innovation. The hub is like a port, like many people and goods come and go, crossing over boundaries. Hub is a market. Goods coming from world traded, but OIH is dealing with even invisible goods such as dream and trust. The hub is a reactor where the chemical reactions of these elements lead to innovation. The hub is not just for the startups and SMEs, but it is the city function for all people like those seaport, airport, and markets. Hello friends, this is our vision. In order to implement this innovation platform in Osaka and implement open innovation environment in Osaka, we need your open-mindedness, as Hackathon teaches us. As Hackathon teaches us, we should walk together beyond all boundaries, such as position, title, organization, nationality, gender, or generation, if you really seek innovation. Let's share this hackathon mind together, walking together beyond any narrow-minded boundaries in Osaka. Hack Osaka 2015 is the event when we confirm this commitment, joint commitment with you, and address it to the world in order to build innovation ecosystem in Osaka and to make this world better. Let's work together. Thank you very much.
like to begin the award ceremony to announce the winners of today's contest. So I'm sure you're all very excited. I can tell by your expressions. Yep, we're going to start with the Cross-Corp prize. So do you have the winner's name? The Cross-Corp prize.
Cross-Corp prize goes to... No drummer sounds. Goes to... TDR. Smart checkups. Where? Congratulations. Come on stage.
So I'd just like to explain, the Cross-Corp prize winner will have the use of an office for 1 year, rent-free, in one of the following cities: Singapore, Jakarta, Delhi, Ho Chi Minh, Manila, or Tokyo. So that's a pretty amazing prize. 1 year rent-free office space. So fabulous. There we go. So, congratulations. Well done, well done.
Make one comment.
Well, this is totally unexpected. I think it's, first of all, very much appreciated. It's like an amazing prize, and especially when you're coming from a very small, tiny country in Europe, and you want to go abroad, then you need to have the facilities in place just to make sure that actually globalization is happening. So thank you for helping us. Congrats.
Congratulations. It's all very exciting. Okay, next we'd like to announce the bronze and silver prize winners. So first of all, the bronze prize. So the bronze prize goes to...
I wish I could be a professional football player if I had such a device. Bronze prize goes to the up performer, Yamada-san.
Okay, congratulations. Be careful, don't drop it. Why?
This is very heavy. So thank you for this prize. And so we launch in this year. So and we want to make unique product for everyone and a football soccer player. Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Yeah.
And can I also announce that the bronze prize winner receives a trophy, as does the silver prize winner. And the bronze prize winner will also receive 100,000 yen prize money. So there you go. Congratulations. Moving on to the silver prize winner now.
Okay.
Who is going to be the silver prize winner?
Sorry, this is my personal topic, but I have 2 kids. I know one is 9 years old, and my wife and I presented him bicycle. Goes to Emily.
Congratulations. There you go.
I'll make some comment.
Thank you very much, and thank you also for the opportunity to come to Japan. It's been a fantastic trip, my first trip, and we're going to be back. So thank you very much.
Hopefully, yes, I hope so. Also, along with the trophy, there's 300,000 yen prize money. Congratulations. Okie dokie. Oh, throwing it away. And now we'd like to ask Alan Miner to come up on stage to announce the winner of the gold prize. So, the chief juror of our contest, Alan Miner.
I was asked to actually announce the award before I make my closing remarks, but I'm going to ignore my instructions because it would be very anticlimactic for me to talk about the day after the biggest news of the day is already over. So that you'll listen to me, I'm going to speak first and announce the winner last. That's how we'll end the day. First, the judging was actually quite close, and there were very interesting opinions expressed about the pros and cons of all the companies. And representing the judge, I'd like to say this was probably one of the best startup contests I've seen in Japan. Both the local competitors and the international competitors, you all deserve a very big hand for your presentations today and for the quality and value of the business you're trying to create. So first, a round of applause for all of our competitors. Second, no one today has said thank you to all the volunteer staff that have been diligently working the counters, the rooms, the sponsors. Diane said earlier that we had 300 attendees last year, 500 this year. An event this size doesn't come off without the help of a lot of people working behind the scenes. And so second, a round of applause for Osaka City for sponsoring this and making it happen, and all the volunteers that worked today to make it run as smoothly as it did. And the winner is not yet to be announced. The first time we did this event, a comment that Dave McClure made stuck out in Hayashi-san's mind and my own when he said, failure is not a problem, it is a necessary process to succeed. There were two comments made in the panel discussions conversation today that were very eloquent and inspiring to me, that for me, were my takers. And I'd like to share those with you before announcing the winner, who I think exemplifies both comments. The first was a comment made by Horie Ari-san during her panel discussion. Entrepreneurship is not a big deal. Make entrepreneurship bite-sized. All of the startups are beginning with a specific problem, a simple solution, and working to grow one step at a time to change the world in their various fields of endeavor. The second comment for me, and hats off to 500 startups for the high energy, eloquent people that make up that group, but Khailee said, if you lead a life of looking for exceptions, you're going to lead an exceptional life. And I think all of the entrepreneurs are pursuing exceptionally valuable opportunities for society, for their customers, and I hope for each of the entrepreneurs that what you're pursuing leads to an exceptional life for you as individuals. Before announcing the winner, one last comment. A couple of times the remark was made that entrepreneurial ecosystems, startup communities, are all about the people in this room making connections with one another and helping one another. So I would just like to reiterate on behalf of the organizing committee and my own team at Sunbridge that we second that notion that the startup community is all about how you work with one another and how you help one another and how you learn from one another. And in the 5 years we've been working with Hankyu and Osaka City Government here in Osaka, I've seen steady and dramatic progress in the amount of interaction and activity that seems to be happening in Osaka, and it feels very much as though the startup ecosystem and the startup community is coming alive in Osaka. So congratulations and thank you to all of you in the room who support one another and support initiatives like this to continue Osaka's history of innovation and changing the world. So now, the information that you're really waiting for, the news you've all been waiting for. The gold winner of HackOsaka 2015 is Farooq Morelli, M. Clinica. Congratulations.
Make some comments.
Thank you very much. I'm honored to receive this on behalf of the team of M. Clinica. You know, it really is a testament. We try very hard to do better as a business because the better as a business we do, the better patients do. Thank you for believing in us. But thank you also for inviting us. Today, really, the spirit of Osaka and innovation is captured. Here, we look at people from all around the world who have come to share in this experience with you. We are so happy to be a part of it. Thank you for inviting us. Know that you are welcome in our countries at any point in time. that innovation spread. Thank you.
There's your prize, and also 500,000 yen of prize money to help you on your journey. Please be careful. Makes me nervous. And also we have, for the gold prize winner from Urban Innovation Institute, you have a supplementary prize. Oh, sorry, Amazon Web Services. Sorry, has given an extra prize, sorry. Amazon Web Services has given the gold winner a Kindle Fire. So that's an extra present for you. Thank you. Thank you. And I'd also like to announce that everybody who pitched today will also receive a prize from Amazon Web Services, and that will be a coupon worth $250 US. So please pick up your coupons later. Congratulations to everybody. And also now we have another supplementary prize. Japan Airlines would like to give all the winners some entrepreneur support items plus bonus miles. Yeah. So the gold winner, the gold winner gets 50,000 mileage for 3 people. So 50,000 miles each for 3 people. It's a party, exactly. And the silver winner will get 50,000 miles for 2 people. Yes, it's all true. And the bronze prize winner will get 50,000 miles for 1 person. And just to give you an example, you can get a round-trip ticket from Osaka to North America for 50,000 miles. So it's a very, very good prize. So congratulations. So I'd like to welcome Mr. Hiroshi Kuroda, Vice President of the Products and Services Administration Department of Japan Airlines, to welcome up on stage to present his prize. Go ahead.
I lied. I have one more thing to say. And that is thank you to all of you for being part of Osaka's startup community, spending this day with us to support one another and to support our local entrepreneurs and our guests from overseas. And we look forward to seeing you all and your friends here again next year. Thank you very much.
Photo taken with your smiling faces. Okay, so do we have get everybody on stage? Okay, so can we get all of the presenters and which is everybody? Yeah, I'll do that in a minute. Yeah. Okay, so are we going to have everybody on stage for a photograph? Yeah, can we invite everybody up on stage, please? Shall we move this? Yep, yep, speakers and pictures. Okay. Cool setting. 順番間違えないでください。あっちから言わないと。 sleep tonight. They can relax, be calm again. So this is where we'd like to close today's event. But Osaka City promises to continue with activities to promote global innovation. And you're all part of the big team, the Osaka Global Innovation Team. So hopefully we'll see you at another event in the near future. And now downstairs we are going to have a networking party. So downstairs on the first floor, Soho Cafe and Dining will be open for our Uchiage party. And so if you could move directly downstairs to the first floor to Soho Cafe and Dining, and please note that only registered participants can join the party. So we hope you've enjoyed yourself, and please don't forget to hand in your questionnaire sheets after you fill them in, if you haven't already done that. And can I ask that you also don't forget to give back your headsets if you've been using a translation headset. So once again, thank you all for coming, and we hope to see you again next year. Thank you.